What's up, guys? Welcome to another night of spoilers. A lot of awesome things to go over today. And as usual, we wait till we get 4 or 5 of them on hand, and we're going to go over them all at once and give our opinions on them. We won't go too deep into the opinions because our podcast will be revolved around how we see things going now that we've seen more and more cards. So this will kind of be us going over them for now. Now, all these are going to be foreign language cards. Actually, the ones I did pull up are actually Spanish this time, not French like last time. So sorry to the guy or whoever it was that commented last time with the, their was it OCD being triggered.
I mean, I told you, and no one believed me.
Yeah, I got you, dude. I got you.
But yeah, we don't know what's going on with the English spoilers, why we stopped getting them, because this is what we're at 8, I think, so far at minimum with no
5.
English.
No English. 5 right now.
No, we're going over 5 right now.
Right.
And we have ones that we went over that still aren't in English.
Oh, 2 more, so 7 total. Yeah.
7. Okay, I was off by 1. My bad.
They've done it last spoiler season as well, and all of a sudden, like Monday or Tuesday, it's just a flood of English cards come up. So hopefully the same happens.
Yeah, but hopefully they actually do them how they used to, where it all just came out at the same time. But because this is kind of annoying.
I think we're at 11 total after tonight, right? 11 or 12 total cards. But we'll go ahead and get into it. But if you guys are super pumped about what you see tonight, make sure to visit our link in the description below for Happy Little Hug Factory. You guys can pick up the box, $80 per box. You can get a deal if you buy more boxes, per box. And yeah, they have, I think, 52 boxes left, so make sure to visit that link and go pick some up. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'll just read these off. So first one up that we have here is called Athena's Love, Divinity 2, Chant/Rune. You may pay 1 less to play this card if you control Athena, deity of harvesting and corruption. Choose Harvest or Corruption. If you chose Harvest, entities you control gain Eternal until end of turn. If you chose Corruption, your opponent banishes a Resonator.
So, here's the thing. This, because we're like, oh man, Brunhild's gonna be so strong. It's like, oh no, Alter Still. That's just, this literally counters Brunhild's Destroy All Stones because it gives all entities internal, including your J Ruler, including your stones. So your stones can't be destroyed and your J Ruler can't be destroyed for one. For 1 cost, potentially, you're giving every single entity you control on your board Eternal. That is so strong. Yellow doesn't even have anything that strong, and they're the ones that are supposed to have Eternal. So, yeah, this counters the Brunhild thing, so just this card alone, well, we'll see how it goes with the rest of the spoilers, but there's just this card alone makes it so that dark decks are still the thing.
Yeah, no, it's good. But if you have one on the rune deck or you only have it in hand, it's 2 costs. We're not sure what that new Athenia does. It names in the card.
I was gonna ask, is that the new Athenia or is it the old Athenia?
It's a new one that we haven't seen.
It is a new one. Okay.
It's a new card, yeah. Kind of like what the IR was on the other cards.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember which Athenia did what. So I was gonna say it would have been cool. I mean, it would have been broken, but it would have been cool if, like, when Athenia enters, you could chase this to her enter ability, so that they banish Resonator, and then they banish a Magic Stone, or they banish another Resonator. That would have been a pretty crazy combo. But
we'll have to see what that card does. Flavor on this one is True Love does not care if one is alive or undead. But yeah,
this is a pretty crazy card.
It is. I don't know if Con has any further opinion on it. I know his dog was barking at it.
No, I mean that was basically it. The second ability doesn't matter too much, but the first ability, is.
The second mode I think is still pretty crazy. I think it's a 1 cost banish effect. Like, that's super cheap removal and bypasses all
but still circumstantial. If your opponent has more than 1 Resonator, then it's not. It becomes less good the more Resonators your opponent has, especially with token generation now coming back.
I'd be really curious to see at the end of the day where everybody fits everything, because there's so many good cards coming out right now. It's like, oh, that's good in Lucifer, that's good in Brunhild, that's Lucifer, Brunhild, oh, that's in the other deck, whatever. And it's like, you can't put everything into these that's coming out. So I'm really interested to see which direction they end up going. I feel with this, having so many more benefits beyond just that situation of the Odin, that it's probably going to start to rule out people even wanting to play Odin in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Because that protection will always kind of be there, especially if it's in the rune deck. That's just my opinion for now.
Yeah, it's and it's going to be one of those things you say, you can't run everything. It's just going to be a filter of, like, what is the most strong out of all the super strong stuff. which hopefully does not become a trend, because that's the trend that Yu-Gi-Oh went on, and it's just like, well, eventually you gotta keep creating stuff stronger than the previous stuff, and then you just get 2-turn games and stuff like that. So we're already like with the alter combo and stuff like that. It's already like pretty crazy. So stuff like this, I feel like you're playing with fire at a certain point. Next one.
Next one, we have Lucifer, leader of the fallen angels, Resonator fallen angel, has flying. Pay 1,000 life. This card gains +2/+2 until end of turn. Pay 2 black and 1. Pay 1,000 life and discard a card. Put this card from your graveyard into the field. And then lastly is at the end of your turn, you gain life equal to the amount of life you lost this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And the things we want to point out, I want to point out, is at the end of turn, not end of your turn. So it's either turn. And then you think about Estema. Pay 400 life, draw a card, gain that 400 back.
No, it's not even that. Pay 400 life, draw a card. Pay 400 life. How many times? Is it only once per turn you're allowed to do
It's once per turn.
But what I've seen when we playing against you and playing at the ARG is that it's pretty consistent that you can get a stemma multiple of them on the field. So what you're doing is you're drawing multiple cards, you're burning your opponent for 500, 1,000, 1,500, and then you're getting it all back at the end of the turn.
And taking things further, it's like 2 of these in the field, you're gaining double life back.
Yeah. If you have 2 of these on the field, then you pay 1,000, deal 500 to your opponent, and then at the end of your turn you gain 2,000 back.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I guess that would be how it works. Huh?
Yeah. Because each one would trigger on its own.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's definitely pretty crazy. I think he's going to be very risky, because like you could still lorite. Well, you can't really lorite it anymore, but like you could still keep Erendite it, and you could just destroy him, and then they just lost like 2,000 life.
Well, no, in response, you do the whole pay 3, pay 1,000 life to put him back onto the field, and then you're going to get that 1,000 life you paid to put him back into the field back at the end of your turn anyways.
Right.
Plus all the other life you lost.
Assuming he doesn't get like Elemental Uprising, or like, I don't know, or like killed again. Because like you can't just pay like that multiple times. Especially if, like, let's say you have him in the graveyard and you have a Stema, and you're like, well, I'm going to pay 400 life, and then I'm going to bring him back and pay 1,000 life, because it won't matter, because he'll be on the field and you'll gain that life back. Yeah. But then once you've like paid it once to get him on the field, and you're like, I don't care about the 1,000 life. Now, if he gets destroyed again and you don't have the 3 stones, or you're down to like 800 life.
If your opponent paid 4 to destroy him, and then you paid the 3 and 1,000 life to get him back, and your opponent still had 4 open stones, that's all on you at that point. If your opponent had 8 open stones to Erendite him twice.
No. I'm not talking about destroying him with four magic stones.
No, that's Erendite. It's 1 to cancel the ability and 3 to awaken it to destroy.
I'm talking about Erendite or destruction effects. I'm not talking about like do both.
I'm just saying, if your opponent has enough open will to destroy it twice, that's on you then for trying to reanimate it after that. Obviously, you should.
2 costs is a bunch of open will. You're right, Colin.
What? Wait, what?
I
don't know what you're talking about.
You use the Banish effect, or there's a bunch of 2-cost removal.
Oh, Joyce. So if your opponent has the Resonator on the field and happens to have the Chant rune in their hand and in their rune area, or 2 in their hand, then then they got the upper hand. I feel
you're
like talking about very specific circumstances where that'd be a bad thing to do, and I think
this is a huge like risky. It's a pretty risky play to use this guy, and I think it could backfire.
I don't think so. With the amount of open will we currently have in alter combo, plus potentially other stuff we've seen spoiled and about to be spoiled, I think it's a relatively safe play to do. And
I see the threat of it not sticking to the field, and you kind of went all out, paying all his life, and you don't gain it back. But I think like even if it does stick, like that's pretty solid if it sticks.
Right. Well, yeah, if it sticks,
it's only costs 3, and it's a solid body, and it does and it has flying, but I think that gain life effect is like so strong, because we're already I would say a good like 40 to 50% of the games that I lose against the alter deck is due to a Stemma peening me for 500 and then paying 1,000, and that's with the full negative effect of paying 1,000. So having an option like this to gain that back and potentially gain that back and then some is a huge threat, because now suddenly they're out life gaining you, even if you're running like a life gain Brunhild deck and stuff like that, and they're while they're passively doing more damage to you as a person than a red deck would. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on.
So we have a lot of things that we've discussed right now, but what about in a situation where I have one in the field and my opponent swings into me for 6 and they deal 6 to me in turn, I gain that 6 back?
Based on the previous ruling, I would say no. Of
what was the like the phrasing of
Well,
the
this is the
possibility?
difficult part. Is these are all people who've translated them. Either they've known the language and they translate based off that, or some sort of translator was used. But with what we have right now is at the end of your turn, you gain life equal to the amount of life you lost this turn.
But specifically the card, what card was it, Oscar?
Yeah, it was a Gil.
Gil
It says
yeah.
loss of life isn't like damage is not loss of life.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So I
think it's a no.
considering we probably won't get CR updates, I think that's just what we're going to have to default to, is that specific reading, the definition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I feel too.
All right, we'll go to the next one here, and okay, this one's. I hope I'm saying it right, pronouncing it. But was it Angerbatha? Is that what we saw?
I forget now. It's been too long.
No. Okay. Anyway, it's giant.
This is real quick. This is what is it called? Yanduri. When they find out that you already have a girlfriend. They're like, what? That's like
Anyways,
exactly what they look like.
Giant of the Sunset, and it's a Resonator Giant with barrier with total cost 4 or less. Enter destroy target addition or rested J/Resonator. You gain 1,000 life. 2 white and a void. Discard this card. Destroy target J/Resonator. You gain 1,000 life. So, in my opinion, yeah, like the way the last one was in blue, this is just gonna be like I'm gonna cast it from hand because of the ability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pay 3 and do
Right. They're like, oh, yeah, we can't. What was the wording before?
Inheritance.
Inheritance. Yeah, no, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't do inheritance because that would be silly. We'll give all the good inheritance also technically inheritance abilities after that ruler's not a thing anymore. Like,
I mean, cool tricks because this is a white card now. It's like, oh, Con, end of your turn. I'm gonna tap 3, activate the ability, and destroy this. I'm gonna gain 1,000 life. Recover. I'm a Judgment Brunhild and pull that into the field. It's just like crazy. Just
I didn't even think about that.
That's a pretty decent combo.
I just realized it right now. I was like, yeah, I never had to pay that. Wait a minute, it's white. I just play with Brunhild.
Yeah, you just play graveyard, and you're gaining 2,000 life and destroying their J ruler and a resonator.
Even if I don't activate the ability, it's like with Tree. Here you go. I'm gonna activate Tree and discard this card as my card I discard.
So this is a 3 cost, and it destroys a J ruler and at quick cast speed without being quick cast. So you can't Ferris spell this, and you gain 1,000 life. That seems like a really strong destruction.
Even though
effect.
those quick casts, it couldn't be fair spell, right? Oh no, barrier when it's in the field. Never mind. I'm confused with that.
Yeah,
but the barrier is nice because it just can't get keys called or anything.
I think it's really good. I don't think it's like
Oh yeah, it's not
crazy
busted.
insane or anything.
No, I don't know if we'll even see play, but it's really cool
It
ability
100%
and fun to
see
think.
prey. Get out of
I
here.
know.
No, it's not. And it's fun to see tricks and things you could do with it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think this will.
No, you guys are
get
dumb.
any-
You guys are acting like how Jeff was acting with Blade of Faith of like, oh no, that's not going to see that much play. Otherwise, Zero's Magic Light would have seen play, and Blade of Faith is being played out the butthole.
If it does, it'll be like a 1 or 2 of. And it's
Resonator-
probably going to be something that they side out immediately to go into better things, depending on the matchup they go into.
Blade of Faith is a 1 cost non-quick cast speed that removes something from play. This is a 3 cost at quick cast speed that can't be Ferris spelled, that destroys resonators and J rulers and gains you life, and it's a body for late game, and like Oscar mentioned, it's a reanimation object for Brunhild.
But with what's already in game and what we've already seen, that's crazy. You really think it's going to fit into the deck?
I 100% think so. I think you're maybe not a play set is probably the only thing you guys have in your head, but like it's going to have 1 or 2 of them in your deck or your sideboard. I think.
I mean, I'll just say it's like someone who puts all this GP lists together and sees that Brunhild doesn't exist. Someone who's run Brunhild since it's set 2 or 3, whenever it was that it got really good. Like, that's a tight squeeze already, and to see all these new cards, it's really difficult to see what you're even going to try to put into it. So I really don't think this going to see very much play, if at all. I'm not saying it's completely out of the question.
So basically, Oscar just said, like, I don't think it's going to see play, but if it does, I put a caveat here, so I'm set.
There you go.
That's all Oscar did. I'm putting my foot down that this is going to see play. I'm putting my foot down that this is going to see play.
Just like Shu was going to see play, and that other fire card that was totally.
First off, I specifically said I didn't think that Shu was going to be competitive, but I thought that Shu was a good card. I still think it's a good card. Like, I was just playing against someone who had it, and it was doing really good. Obviously, it's not competitive because it involves you getting rid of resources, but.
My thing is, people are not playing removal at 3 costs. They're playing it at 2 costs and 1 cost. And that's why this is good.
But people are playing 1 cost life gain and stuff like that. So I think at 3, with it being an ability, I think it being 3, but it not being a chant and not being quick cast, but still being quick cast speed are all like huge things, as well as putting it into your graveyard or using it as a discard mechanism for sapling and stuff like that to put into graveyard to reanimate later. I think we'll make it so it sees play.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think reanimating it is the only option the only play that would make it see play. But I still don't think it's that good. Even with
we'll see what happens. We'll move to the next card here, and that one is going to be Alice in the Incarnation of Zeus.
I didn't realize we haven't talked about this, have we?
Yeah, no, we haven't talked about it. So she's an 8/8. Resonator Fairy Tale High God. This card has all races. This effect applies to all zones. As long as there is a Resonator, Chant, Addition, and Magic Stone in your graveyard, this card will gain +2/+2 Eternal Drain, Flying, Precision, Swiftness, and First Strike. And then you pay 1 of each color there, and remove target entity from the game.
So, this gains all races. There's a card right now called Kingdom of Diversity. It is also 1 white and 1 blue, and just all resonators you control gain 1/1 count 1/1 for every race you control. So right now, as it is right now, this resonator with that addition, so total cost of 5 at some point, gives all of your resonators at minimum plus, what was it, 20,000 plus 20,000?
No, I'm not sure.
2,000?
I just knew there was
213
races.
There's 213 races times 100, so 21,300 per resonator currently. So ideally, you would have either the addition or her in play, and you just come into like turn 3 and swing with one of your resonators that were already in the field and have volley or some sort of mechanism to get rid of their blocker, like Blade of Faith,
right? And
you just win by default. Or you, which we'll get into why I think this might be possible, you run this in a Chimimi deck with the Chimimi Master Rune and just declare the blockers and just swing in for a game.
That could be
that's closer to turn 4 most likely, but yeah.
And I also didn't follow it up too much, but I don't know if you did, Colin, but was there people who were saying that we need to see a CR update to determine how the races work?
Someone probably said that. Someone said that about almost every card that's been spoiled.
Yeah.
Forgetting that we probably aren't going to get CR updates. But you don't need a CR update if this is going by the CR currently. That's all we have to go off of. If it was going to be otherwise, then the company should say something. But it and also this combos with what card was I saying this combos with? The 1 cost. The 1 cost cat, not combos with, but the 1 cost cat goes with this, because the only ability this does not gain is Barrier, and the only thing that makes this hard to gain all those different effects is putting a Magic Stone in your graveyard. Getting the other things in your graveyard isn't necessarily that hard, so having that cat in, you can banish a Magic Stone to give her Barrier, so you maintain those race effects, and you get that Magic Stone in there, which will eventually, hopefully, your aim is Swiftness. You don't really care too much about the other ones, but yeah, and that remove entity is actually relevant. It turned out to be relevant, so we'll talk about that in a sec as well.
Oh, yeah, I was saying, and wasn't there some clarification that a ruler or J/ruler doesn't count as an entity?
It is kind of as an entity, but the CR does specifically state J rulers and rulers cannot be removed from game. If the effect would remove it from game, it doesn't.
Okay.
So for some reason, they kept the ability of you could technically target a J ruler with this ability, but it just doesn't do anything. Not sure why, but yeah. So having if you have the open will, the 5 cost remove entity from game is also a way to swing in with her. If she has swiftness for game and stuff like that as well. But as it stands right now, this is potentially super bonkers.
Yeah, and before we get to the next card, I will remind everybody listening and watching that we'll go way more in depth on this in the podcast opinions, maybe spitballing some more ideas and things like that. But for now, we'll go to the last card here.
So hold on. Sorry, I've been trying to find that dumb card. Wasn't that the last set? The card that came out in the last set, so it's going to be rotated in 3 months.
Correct. Yeah, the edition that comes with this won't be around for 3 months after this set is released.
Okay.
So it's only 3 months of 21,000 attack and defense resonators. Everyone knows 3 months of Sherry did nothing to the game. Not saying this is Sherry, but I'm just being hyperbolic.
Right. Next up, we have Dark Alice, Rabbit Princess. Resonator Fairy Tale Were Rabbit. Quick cast. Cards in your graveyard cannot be targeted by chance abilities or be removed from the game. Enter.
I liked also Joey's eyes when you said that. He was like,
All right. Enter, draw a card, then discard a card or banish an entity. Repeat this once. If you have an addition, chant, resonator, or magic stone in your graveyard, all magic stones you control produce any color, pretty much.
And magic stone, right?
And yeah, you said or, Oscar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry.
So this is what we were waiting for. We knew this was going to happen. Something that makes it so you could, color fix.
I mean, like, looking at it, though, this card with Alice is, like, the real combo right here. The fact that you're going to hit, this will enter. This will help you get that stone into the graveyard that you're trying to get, and then lock that graveyard up toward nothing touch.
Not just the stone, also the addition or whatever, because you draw a card and discard a card.
Whatever's missing. Yeah, pretty much whatever's missing, you can guarantee that gets into that graveyard.
So how does she get the stone in the graveyard?
She says entity you control, you can banish it. So if you already have a stone, you can just banish a stone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's quick cast speed for some reason. Don't know why, but it's quick cast speed, so you could do this pretty early on because you can do it during your opponent's turn. You can do it in your turn, and so you can do this twice to banish whatever you need to, or double draw and double discard to get to that exact fixing. Because draw any card and discard any card, so you put it into your hand, and then make sure you're discarding the addition, the chant, the resonator, and the magic stone. So I think those are the 4 things you need to activate the other card. So she guarantees 2 of those off the bat. And then if you have 1 more of her, you can almost guarantee the other 2 for 2 will. Yeah.
So, okay. We should have put all of the translations in the chat or something. So I'm trying to there's a lot of text and I don't remember all of it. I think she is pretty crazy though. I think it's interesting that white has possibilities to splash into every color, which I feel like it's less. See, this to me is less indicative of actual dual stones and more that just they'll have the color fixing for built into the cards.
Here's the last two.
Yeah. But it's color fixing for 5 colors. It's not like, oh, instead of dual stones, hey, maybe you could produce black in addition to white. Wee. It's like, oh, if you do this, one thing, then you just get every color. And this is what I was referring to before, where I was saying maybe you could just run Chimimi with the Chimimi Mastering because it's relatively easy to get this to its multiple colors, and so you can produce the green needed to launch the Chimimi Mastering as well as the blue you need and the yellow you need for all the different things. So you just run a mono yellow deck or something like that, and then casting that, and then you run the stone because casting that Alice that counts as every race. We'll talk about this in the podcast probably because it's a funny tangent to talk about everything that it actually entails by being every other race. But by running all yellow, you run the stone that says if you cast a human, it can't be canceled, so that you can cast the Alice because she is also a human and she can't be canceled. So you can guarantee she gets in the field. So she's an uncancelable card now. So there's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
A lot of pretty crazy synergy. Okay.
Any last opinions, guys? Or we're gonna go and wrap it up there.
Oh, the other ability, Joey, was the stuff can't be removed from your graveyard.
Yeah, no. So I did want to. I just feel like there's a lot of graveyard plays that are going on. Obviously, like I mean, we've seen Altered, we've seen these dudes. I think creating Evil Elemental Uprising and then having this card that is like a counter to that is kind of.
It's not a counter though, because you can't chase Evil Elemental Uprising.
It doesn't matter. This cards can't be removed from game. Like having this in the field.
Oh, I see. It's
like,
a passive effect.
It locks your graveyard in.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But,
so, yeah. So, yeah, and this can be splashed into, I think, other decks as well, because this also works super good in Alter Combo deck, because now you get a shiz ton of stones that produce every color, as well as protecting your graveyard for things like the card we're talking about, to reanimate it back out for 3, so you're gaining that life, and so you can protect your graveyard from Evil Elemental Uprising while producing multiple colors, etc., etc. So, and burning through your cards, you just do her ability, you draw one, discard one twice, and you just discard that guy. That way you just build up a hand in your graveyard and fix your hand a little bit better. And so I think splashing yellow inside of the Alter Combo is going to be potentially a thing.
Yeah.
How do cards like oh gosh, I'm trying to think of a good one. Like, so I'm just thinking like running this in like Brunhild actually seems kind of backwards, because you can't reanimate anything in your graveyard anyways now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wonder if it'd be best fitting in like a Adam deck or whatever.
Like Alter Combo wouldn't even want this, because you can't bring your cards back out. Like you can't use Skeleton Horde to bring them back onto the field. Stuff like that.
Is Skeleton Horde targeting?
You're targeting Skeleton Horde that's
before
in the
it hits the graveyard.
No, well, I'm like, if you're doing like
Power of Immortality.
Right. Power of Immortality is fine, probably fine, but stuff like the one cost bring back target skeleton or zombie, like that doesn't do anything to it.
Oh yeah.
You know, the others, like I think there's one or two other ones that I've been playing that also bring target stuff back in the graveyard too.
Yeah, March of the Dead targets.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, it's interesting. I really.
Well, and it's also important to note we still are waiting on the full English translation, so it could be a tiny thing in there we're missing that says your opponent controls.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there could be several little things here and there
is...
throughout all of this that could change kind of some of the things that happen here. Which, if we see that, we'll obviously cover that in another video. But I think that's all we got for today.
Very interesting. Yeah. Crazy cards.
I think they're some are pretty cool. So yeah. But we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.